Which fictional character never fails to piss you off? Percy Wetmore, that sniveling, sadistic bitch of a prison guard who didn't wet the sponge during the execution in the Green Mile. The guy who played him turned into quite a freak show in real life too. Holy fuck, his last name is Wetmore. That is both dark and on the nose in a wholesome way that fits the Green Mile perfectly. That trunchbull lady from Matilda. Oh, but Pam Ferris was so good in that role. She was also Aunt Marge in Harry Potter. Another pretty awful character. Hate the character in the book and movie. But god, the actress who portrayed her in the movie did it so fucking well. Greg Heffley. You only realize what an asshole he is when you become older. The books make me feel so bad for Rowley. He's just some poor kid who wants to be a good friend, and Greg just abuses his loyalty and kindness to get whatever he wants. I didn't like him as a kid either. He always came across as entitled and annoying. Lester on GTA 5, if he calls me about the casino heist one more time, I'm punching him in the dick. Edit. And you know what? I fucking hate Bryony and her dumb arena shit. I'll do arena when I fucking want to. Mr. Poe from Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events. He's not exactly the villain, but god is he useless. Him and the other adults who don't believe the Baudelaire children for some stupid reasons. You've just made me feel a visceral loathsomeness as I remember how useless this man is. So many of the adults in those books are incompetent, but Mr. Poe is so much worse. These adults get swindled once or twice, but it keeps happening with Mr. Poe. He's not the villain, but I hate him like one. Also, his whole family kinda sucks. The Poes suck. Olivia Colman's character in Fleabag. She didn't even have to finish her first sentence in a scene and I'd already be pissed off. The absolute worst. To me it is more of a tie between Martin and her. God, it felt good when she punched Martin. I wonder if it ever crossed her mind a scene where she would punch the Olivia Colman character. That role was written, performed so perfectly. She's awful. Hi you little bald-headed cunt. He has cancer but yet he fails to die. Poncarel. Yes, 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 yes. Ramsay Bolton and, of course, Caillou. Both equally awful human beings. Hi Win from Deep Space Nine. That role is acted and written so perfectly. It's the same actress who played Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Louise Fletcher, who was also great in that role. Umbridge before Harry Potter came out. Win is the embodiment of lawful evil and personal ambition wrapped in a package that is supposed to be good beyond all measure. Interesting literary parallels between Win and some historic Catholic popes though. Her character is extraordinary. You get all twisted up every time she's on screen. Just knowing her every word is self-serving, even if you can't see the big picture yet. Magnificently acted and written. Those damn kids always spoiling it for the Trix rabbit. Poor guy just wants to eat breakfast. The entire Thelma faction in Skyrim. Mika Bell. I wish nothing but lumbago onto that rat bastard. They made a character with absolutely no redeeming qualities. Fucking Joffrey Baratheon. I started watching long after the series ended. I kept asking my friend who loaned me the DVD, when is Joffrey going to get what's coming to him? I hope the actor's excellent portrayal didn't ruin his career. Grima Wormtownge, LOTR. What a creep. Also Octavian from Percy Jackson. And half the men Shakespeare wrote. Especially that guy from To Tame a Shrew. To be fair, you're pretty much destined to be a creep as soon as you get the name Grima Wormtongue. Octavian deserves to be left at the mercy of the Titans before being thrown into Tartarus and then brought back by Thanatos/Hades, only for the whole thing to repeat itself. Manny from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, fucking I'm only free looking cunt. Remember that one time the family almost froze to death and were left without food simply because Manny didn't learn how to tie his shoes? The older you get, the more you realize Greg's a self-absorbed asshole who's an asshole to the only true friend he has. However, as time goes on, Greg's anger towards Manny is still 100% justified. Fuck Manny. Dinkelberg. Found Timmy Turner's dad. Every adult in Matilda edit except for Miss Honey, the teacher. Don't forget the wonderful librarian who gave Matilda a library card. Her mom showed the ever so slight bit of compassion when she pushed for Matilda to go live with Miss Honey. That blonde chick from A Silent Voice. She was so fake. The MC was trying to be a better person, but as soon as she was about to be implicated in the bullying of the deaf girl, she made a scene in front of the whole class, who were not involved in the issue at all. The bullying had happened years ago, and nearly threw the MC under the bus, again, and nearly turned the whole class and their new friend group against him to save hers. I was so angry when she was still counted as a member of their friend group in the end, because that kind of snake behavior don't stop unless it's called out and punished. And she acted so innocent too. Shake my head. God, that movie fucked me up one night. Long. I knew it easy serious, but I was bawling and hurting and just. Damn. Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. I don't understand how anyone can describe him as an anti-hero after he imprisons a 17-year-old girl in his house and forces her to marry a dying man just so that he can steal her rightful inheritance because of a childhood feud. What an utter bastard. I like it that you are caring about spoilers for a book that's over 170 years old. If you count Isabella Linton, he imprisons two young girls and forces them to marry people because of a childhood feud. And don't forget the necrophilia. Umbridge. The lesson I learned from that character, as a writer, is that audiences respond much more viscerally to unfairness than they do to straight-up evil. Voldemort kills people, but he's not on this list. Umbridge abuses her power and changes the rules and is just plain unfair, and she's at the top of the list. Hem hem. Octavian from Heroes of Olympus. Spoiler, his death was so satisfying. Scrappy-Doo, I loathed him as kid. Interestingly enough, in the live-action Scooby-Doo movie from 2001, Scrappy is the villain behind the mask. Okay, he was basically piloting a human-like robot, but you get the point. I loved the reference to him in Scooby-Doo, Mystery Incorporated. There's a wax statue of him in the Hall of Villains the gang has unmasked. Daffy is creeped out by it and Fred tells her to look away and that they agreed to never discuss it again. It keeps Scrappy in the lore as a horrible thing that the gang just wants to forget about entirely. Senator Kinsey, from Stargate, SG-1. Senator Kinsey. Fun fact, the same actor had a very similar role in ST-G, replacing Captain Picard for 2 episodes as the captain of the Enterprise. That's why seeing him on SG-1 I instantly hated him. The old man who calls the Fire Nation soldiers on Haru after he saves his freaking life. Bitch ass. Dora the Explorer. It's right in front of your fucking face, stop fucking asking me where it is. Hate to tell you guys, but she's not a real explorer if everywhere she goes is moped. Reminds me of one episode where she's like trash cans don't talk, then 5 minutes later she's talking to a tree. Bella Swan. She's got the wit and personality of wet cardboard, yet everybody bends over backwards to protect her stupid ass. Brew the paper cup scene in the second movie pissed me off. No one bleeds like that, sis is always fucking bleeding. Not to mention all the semi-truck sized plot holes. Peppa Pig. Entitled Little Shit. I won't let my kids watch it. I'm loving how many people feel so strongly about this little animated pig. Isn't that the point though? She acts like a child and then her parents and friends make her see why she's not behaving the right way and the kids watching learn a lesson. I've only seen the episode where she blasts gangster rap from her boombox though. Kalu, he's such a spoiled brat. I bet the only reason he gets his way is because chances are, he has cancer. Smelly Gabe from Percy Jackson. He was literally abusive to Percy and Sally, but he got what he deserved in the end. Holy shit, he was a dick. Gabe's fate is what sold me on the series. Most middle grade books are afraid of going too far in letting children punish evil parental units. Percy gets to straight up murder his stepfather. It's not a specific character, it's more of a trope. I always get pissed off whenever I see the loser character. Examples would be Ernie from George Lopez, Meg from Family Guy, Klaus from American Dad, Toby from The Office, etc. These type of characters often get treated like shit and most of the time they don't deserve it. Unlike a character like Squidward, who is a loser but acts like he's God's gift to the world, none of these characters are arrogant, narcissistic, or even egotistical. I feel that they are treated the way they are because of masochistic writers enjoy torturing characters in the shows they work for. Toby gets shit specifically from Michael to show how irritating and unfair Michael can be. But with Meg from Family Guy, her abuse is the joke. That's it. Let's laugh at Meg because she's a loser. Why is she a loser? I actually don't even know. The whole thing's in poor taste. The Jerry/Gary/Larry Gergich abuse was the worst part about Parks and Rec. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.